Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dee Reinhardt with Illinois WorkNet. I am your host today for our technical assistance session for Apprenticeship Illinois. We have new and old grantees on the call. We are here to answer questions, but I do have two items that I do need to show you. And then if you have questions about accessing, entering, adding, any of that kind of stuff, I have test open so that we can show you that as well. So now let me share my screen. The first thing that I want to show everybody is about user management. And some of you may already know about user management and have been using it along the way, especially if you are 2019 grantees. What I do want to let you know is that for each organization that has a 2021 grant, there has been one person assigned. We do have instructions on the partner page, and we have a training video on the partner page. So I'm trying to make you as self-sufficient as I can with this user management. So we're going to actually go over it, and we'll add a real person after I show you in test. I do not record real person data. So like real customers, I do not record that. I do not record real users, but I will show you in test how to add a person. And just let me tell you, going down the line, we do have people assigned to each agency. And if that's the wrong person assigned to each agency, then we can fix that. For Cook County Bureau of Economic Development, I have Kindy assigned as the primary contact for the 2021 grants. These are all for the 2021 grants. Emily, you're assigned for Mantracon. Jamie, I saw you on the call. You're assigned for Lakeland College. Toriana is assigned for Champaign. Richard Stubblefield is for St. Clair. Kathy, you've got Elgin. Alicia Martin is ABC. Jen Foyle is for U of I. Kevin Ford is for St. Paul Church of God. Mark Williams is Hire 360. Craig Schmidt is Calumet area. JJ, you've got Danville. David Jacobs, your National Able. Shanita Muse is Hope Center Foundation. Terrence White Cotton, you are Illinois Laborers and Contractors. Don Brozak, your OAI. Danielle Kuglan-Sego is for DuPage. Tanya, you've got Rend Lake. Kurt Rendall is Heartland, and Christopher Anderson is Illinois Foundation of Skills. Those users currently have user management access. There may be others in your group, especially if you were a 2019 grantee. Others in your group may have user management access as well. So now, if you do have user management access, you will go to your Customer Support Center. We're also calling it the Illinois Workforce Investment System, Information System, Illinois Workforce Information System, IWIS for short. There's too many acronyms that sound too much alike, so I apologize for that boo-boo right there. We do have, once you're logged into your IWIS system, you'll see this solo head icon. That is for user management. And when you click on the user management, it will take you to a spot. First thing that you want to do is search for a user. And so if I search for Mary Smith, I search and I don't see that that account is there. So what I'll do next is I'll add the partner to the group. I'm going to put in her first name and her last name. I'm going to put in a date of birth. Now, if I have to create these things, I make up things, which may not match what there is actually in the system. So if you don't want to be 84 years old, then you need to give me the right information from those people. So we're going to do 0101, 1990, and I'm going to make up a phone number here, which if you are at your agency, you've got that person right there, or you've probably got them on speed dial on your mobile phone or something, you know their information more than likely. So we're going to say Mary Smith at testappil.com. Zip code is going to be 62036. And organization, we look for the organization. So when we start typing, it will give us the ability to look for a list based on what it is that you started typing, or you can scroll all the way down, and depending upon the access to other groups that you have, you may see a whole set of organizations like I'm seeing right now, or you may just see the one or two organizations to which you have access. So I'm going to look for Apprenticeship Illinois, and I'm going to add Mary Smith to this ABC location. So I'm going to search first to see if she has an account and if it's the right match. Since there is no account found, then I'm going to search for non-active accounts. Would I like to create one? And I'm going to say yes. Then I can add the partner. So if you don't do the things in the right steps, it will not work for you. You can create an account if the person does not already have an account. In some cases, it's actually simpler to create the account on the fly, just like I did, rather than having somebody create an account in advance and then adding it in. Now, what you will need to do for this user is you will need to tell them their username and password. Something that we just recently implemented was an email correspondence that will go to the email address on file. So if you've typed anything incorrectly, it won't get to them. If your filters for your organization are strong, it may end up in the junk or the spam folder, although it is only one email going out at a time. So have them look for that information because it will give them links, it will give them all sorts of things. Now, if you've got people that are not necessarily case managers who need access for reporting purposes or any of those sorts of really rare moments of activity, they still need to have their own account. Don't use your account for them, or don't let them use your account. Create a separate account for each person who needs access to the system, because heaven forbid that something gets messed up. You don't want to be blamed for it if it was actually that person using your account. So that's how to use user management. Are there any questions about user management from those of you in attendance? No, I see some heads shaking no. So Kindy, you missed it. You're in charge of user management for Cook County Bureau of Economic Development. Yay.
Sorry, I'm eating a late lunch.
It's okay. I just got done with mine.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Did you see all of this? I'm recording this, so you'll be able to watch it again.
Yeah, I'll catch up. Yeah, thank you.
I have the tutorial video available as well as the instructions. Okay, now the next thing that we need to make sure that you know how to do is to add a customer. One thing that we aren't 100% on, but that we should have squared away within the next 2 weeks is how to assign them to a specific grant. We have 2 grants working right now at the same time. We've got some 2019 grantees who have some carry forward to the end of June of 22 are some of the latest ones. And then we have the new grant for some of working on trying to add a participant. You will access the IWIS system. And these are for the intermediaries. The navigators have a different set of information that they're entering. And today, we're going to go to the groups. Today, while the blossom still clings to oh my goodness, this is really slow. I'm hoping that somebody is not pushing something right now because that gives us error messages. Okay, so now what you'll want to do is you'll want to go to your Apprenticeship Illinois group. It will land you on the group page with your customers. You will go to the Add Customer button and add the basic information that you'll need for that customer. So I'm going to do a combination of names here. We are going to add a button where if they do not have an email address, that it will put in a fake email address for you. So it will not let you copy on the social security number, but I think you can copy, I should have tried it, on the email address. What didn't I do right? Michelle H at let's try a capital H.
Capital H.
Yep, there it's case sensitive. I think we're going to change that as well. You pick your intermediary, put in a zip code, search for an existing customer. It's going to search the database for a social security number that matches. Since this is a fake social security number, it should not find anyone, but it may, if you're entering a real social security number, somebody may already be in the system for another program. They may already be in the system for another provider, especially for those of you in the Chicago market where there's overlapping people or overlapping agency territories. And it does take it a moment. Now, when you're entering this information, you're entering this for a fully case managed customer where you're going to spend money from your grant funds on this person. If you're not spending apprenticeship dollars on this person, you will not put them in as a fully case managed customer. They will be reported as an OII customer, other impacted individuals. I always get that backwards, other individuals impacted. And we're spinning here quite a long time. All right, I'm gonna end that. So what ends up happening is you get to the point where it will say the customer was not found. Here's the new case, the new ID, username and password for that customer. And then you can go to you have three options. You can send the customer the application. You can complete the application at that time with the customer, or you can move on and just add a new customer. So this is what the application will have looked like. They will have answered some questions about situations that might prohibit them from finding and keeping a job, maybe their living situation or their health situation. So these are all potential challenges to employment. What's their highest level of education? What is their work history? If they have been employed, you do need to enter at least one job. And then the actual demographics for that customer, name, address, phone number, gender, date of birth, military status, and if they are if they were born male, so born male, and they're between the ages of 18 and 26, they are required to fill out the selective service information. So if they were born male, it doesn't matter what they identify as now. If they were born male, they have to fill out the selective service information. And then up until the time that you have completed the eligibility review, you can edit the application information. So under the next step, the view eligibility and enroll the customer, you can view all of that eligibility information. And it will ask you for documentation. And you can go by section. And there are drop downs. And the list of all of the drop downs and what's required or what can be accepted are listed on the appendix to the eligibility verification instructions. When you enter the information, you will be required to confirm the Social Security number. And what? Oh, I have too many numbers. And then any of these documents that are listed in there allow you to confirm the eligibility. We can save and go to the next tab. If there is nothing marked, if there's nothing checked, you can pass that page. If you need to update a response, like maybe they answered you quickly and weren't really thinking, and as you're having a conversation with them, they say, oh, yeah, well, I really do have that. And so then you can always go back and go in to update the customer responses on their application. Excuse me. Then you can save and go to the next tab. If they have something going on, the physical disability, you can mark what type of disability they have and what is their verification. Save and go to next tab. There are no items checked here, but during the course of the conversation, you can again go in and manage the responses. And then if you click on some of the blue items, it will take you to the information that's associated with that eligibility piece. We're going to go through these next couple of pages because it's basically the same information you have to verify. Once you're done with the eligibility verification, you can click determine eligibility. What this does is it looks at the information that you entered into the system and lets you know that the apprentice is eligible for the apprenticeship program, but may also be eligible for one of the other titles for WIOA. That does not mean that they are eligible for WIOA. It just means that they could potentially also be eligible for that. So then we go back. We do have a document that must be signed. And then you can return to the intake review. After you have all of that information, you have some options here to enroll them. The two items that we are considering trying to do is upon intake, when you add the customer to the system, we may be tracking which grant at that point. If it's not at that point, it will be here on this page where we will track which grant you are actually enrolling your participant in. And from there, you go to the career plan. All right, do we have any questions about the intake review and the eligibility? All right. Everybody is required to use the system and use the career plan. And what we'll do, we'll try to go over the work plan next week. We have some updates coming to it that will happen tomorrow or Monday. So I don't want to go over those changes yet. And we'll just go fresh with it next Wednesday. So any questions? Oh, let me show you the overview page. The overview page has a section for each area of the customer's profile. And as you are looking at that, you can see if it's green, it's good. If it's yellow, it's probably not completed. And those are things that you need to do before you can exit a customer for completion. Those things have to be done. So we also have on the career plan, we have an overview page as well that will give you updates about what's happening with that customer's career plan. And you can see the next steps. Did they get their wrap enrollment done? Was their skill upgrading and training? Have they successfully completed it? To exit a customer, these services will now be required to be completed. Does not mean that they have to be successfully completed. It just means that the step itself, the service itself, must be marked as either successfully completed or unsuccessfully completed. And then you'll be able to exit the customer. Kathy, what do you got?
If the individual will not complete prior to the end of the grant period, how shall we manage those to exit them out of the system? Will we be doing it after the grant period?
So they're on track to finish, but they just haven't?
Because for the associate degree manufacturing, it takes 3 years.
Sure.
The way we've got that set. So that's going to be outside of the grant period.
That's a very good question. And I believe that Chase Martin and Brian Richards are working on what the process actually will be. So Chase, can you take down that question and incorporate that into your instructions that you're going to be coming up with?
Can you say it one more time, Dee? I missed the first part of it.
If so, for example, and Kathy, correct me if I'm repeating this wrong, the customers enrolled into a 3-year wrap, and they're in year 2 of the wrap, and we need to close them out because the grant funding period is done. So maybe they got enrolled in 2019. What does Kathy do with that participant to close them out? Because their wrap won't be done, but they didn't unsuccessfully complete it. Did I get that right, Kathy?
Okay. Thank you.
We can talk about, Chase, we can talk about that at the meeting tomorrow morning if we need to.
Okay, yeah, that'd be perfect. Thank you.
We'll try and have an answer for you next week, Kathy. It may be 2 weeks, but we'll get it before the end of the grant. How's that? All right. Any other questions? Tiny's just sitting back there going, yeah, I understand.
I do have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
How are we tracking with apprentices that have front-loaded education? So technically they're not tied to an employer yet, but they're taking the classes. We have a couple employers at our hangar that have FAA certified apprenticeship set up, but the students are currently in school and won't be going to work yet. How do we track
So
those students?
They're doing a wrap, but it's not associated with employment.
Correct. Not yet.
Okay, so the wraps don't necessarily in the system here have to be associated with employment. But on the customer's outcomes page, you would fill in the earned credentials, you would fill in the measurable skills gains, you would have the goals and the services, and then once they actually get employed, then you would go to this part of the outcomes page, click the employment, and add the employment there. And then that way, for that second and fourth quarter, it will allow that person's wages to be tracked.
Okay, what about, and correct me if I'm wrong, I know on our reporting that apprentices are only counted if they have rapids numbers. Is that correct or incorrect?
That is correct. You do have to have a rapids ID for each wrap. So for each, if you're oh, where did they go?
I guess we have several employers and we don't know which one they're going to go to yet. So we're not able to put them in rapids under an employer yet. So I'm wondering, how do we track them?
So then are you the sponsor?
Correct.
All right, so then that rapids ID, and oh, I am so sorry, I just got in over my head.
He's not going to be able to enter it without the employer signed form.
But if we don't know what employer they're going to
Right.
yet, I guess
don't
that's
have
my
it.
challenge. So how
Yeah.
do we count them with them not having a rapids ID number? For this,
Okay,
for
this
this
is a-
front-loaded case.
All right, this is a question that I need to ask at our meeting tomorrow. So let me find those notes. All right, so question. Tab. Questions from the field. How do we, so Emily, help me out here. How do we count?
I guess an apprentice that they're technically, I guess maybe the right terminology is front loading their apprenticeship with those schooling hours, and then they'll be going to an employer later.
So can I say, how do we count an apprentice that is not employed while they are learning? So they do not have a Rapids ID while in training. Is that?
So
is that-
So I guess technically doing an RTI related training instruction before actually going to on-the-job learning.
Oh, so then you probably wouldn't enter them in the wrap. You wouldn't enter them in this step. It would be not started. So, okay. All right. So I have a solution for you. I don't have the correct answer for you.
Sure.
If you go in here and you add the wrap, and let me just find it. So if I add this wrap,
Yeah.
it asks me, it's supposed to be asking me, which of these other things am I doing? So I'm going to do an OJT private sector, and I'm going to do skill upgrading and retraining. I'm going to add that selected service. I'm going to put all of my training information in here, and I'm not going to enter the actual wrap until they get into that. But I am still going to bring that question up on our meeting tomorrow. So
But
that,
technically, I guess we can enter them, but the question is, if they don't have a Rapids number, they wouldn't go towards our apprenticeship, I guess, number goals, I guess. I guess that's the question still.
your goals, your deliverables,
Correct.
I think that's the case. But let me ask the question tomorrow, and let me get confirmation, and we'll talk about it next week.
Perfect. Thank you.
So I'm gonna, if you guys don't mind, give me just a moment to write myself a note. So you would still enter the employment the same way that I described, but you might not enter the wrap until you actually get that employer in that ID. Does that make sense? But we'll get the confirmation tomorrow.
Sure.
Okay. What else can I answer for anybody, or not answer and get an answer for you? All right, Terrence, I know that you had, Kenny, I'll get right back to you just a second. Terrence, I know you were having some issues with the user management. Did I resolve any of those items for you?
As you were going through it, I was able to send that person an email with her username and password, so we're all set. Thank you.
Yay. All right, cool. All right, Kendi.
Well, I don't know if any of if there's more questions, but I still can't get into this platform.
You
And
can't get into iWis?
I don't think so. So if you're willing and able, it would just be great just to see it all from the beginning.
All right, so this is mine.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my partner dashboard. And this is production, so I'm not going to be showing you any customer information.
Okay, I
But
understand.
you do have to be logged in.
I'm logged in.
You do have to go to where this says my dashboard.
But mine is blue. Does it have to
Why
be
is
red?
yours blue?
It says
Did
workforce
you
and
go to
education.
illinoisworknet.com?
Yep. Okay, so let me go to menu. Okay, now I'm in the blue one or the red one. Okay,
Okay, so then where it says my dashboard,
yeah,
you click that drop down.
yep.
And over here under the blue menu side,
Partner
it says
tools.
partner tools.
Okay,
You can click this
okay,
and then you can get there. Now, the other thing that you can do is if you go to the partner page, and if you go to the Apprenticeship Illinois Partners page, and I'm going to put this link in the chat for you,
okay. I'll bookmark
for
it.
everybody, actually, for everybody. All right, so that's the partner page. Now from here, if you click this link right here,
Yeah,
it should take you directly to the IWIS, but you may have a login screen in between.
okay. Okay, yep, I got there. Thank you.
All right.
And so now I'm just,
Yay.
yay, thank you so much.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, so what we'll do, are there any other questions about adding intermediary customers? Next week, I hope to be able to go over navigator tools because there are some updates coming to those. You may see them if you log in. You may see some, but don't get in love with them yet because there may be some changes coming. Tiny just laughs at me all the time. I'm glad I make somebody happy. All right. Okay, what other questions can I answer for you? So Terrence added his, I think it was your fiscal person, Terrence?
Yes, correct.
All right, so anybody that you need to add, use that user management tool. Many of the 2019 grantees have 3 to 10 partners already in the system. So check your list and let me show you how to do that real quick. I did forget to do that when we were talking about the user management. But on the user management, if you want to click your group and then hit search. You may not even have to hit the search. It will show you everyone who is associated and has access to your tools in Illinois WorkNet for apprenticeship. You may see, if you have access to more than one program, you may see multiple versions of that person in this list, but look at the group name to make sure that they're associated with the Apprenticeship Illinois group. Okay, time for questions. What do you got?
And if they happen to not know their login because it's been a while, I assume there's a way to reset that.
If you see them in this list, you can click on their last name. Actually, you don't even have to do that. If you see them in this list, their username is right here.
Okay.
They may have to say forgot password and get the new password.
Okay.
And I
Thank you.
believe passwords reset every quarter.
Dee, what if I have people on there that I need to remove?
Hit
Is
the
it
red
okay to
X.
do that?
Hit the red X.
Okay.
Like if it's people that don't work for your organization anymore. Yeah.
what if
Red
I'm
X.
in there twice?
If you're in there twice, are you in there twice because it's 2 different groups?
Yeah, is that, and that's okay?
Yes.
So the Apprenticeship Illinois is probably the group I should be.
Let me go live here. Because groups.
Yeah,
is-
I'm in there twice too.
Because I know I set myself up a long time ago when I was trying to use the virtual, when I was using the virtual job fair. But I also wonder if I got set up.
So for Apprenticeship Illinois, I only see you with the
So the-
one group.
Okay,
Now, if I search your name. If I search your name. I still only see one
okay,
under the user management.
right, okay. Then that's the one that's the one. I'm just.
That's your partner account
Right, that's my partner account. Okay,
to give you access to the tools.
okay.
Dee, I'm in there twice as well. One group is Apprenticeship Illinois Rend Lake College, and another, on the next line, it's my exact same first name username, and it says Rend Lake College, CTE.
CTE is a different program.
Okay, maybe I need to leave it alone then.
Yeah. So now the other thing you guys can look for, especially the newer organizations, is you want to go to Illinois WorkNet and look in the service finder and make sure that your organization is represented appropriately in the service finder. If it's not, you need to let me know so that I can have someone send you the information to make that correction. So, Michelle, what organization are you with?
I'm with Illinois Laborers.
All right, so if I go to Illinois Laborers and search. Oh, I picked the wrong thing. I should have picked all partners. It should show if you are listed in here. And this is very important for your new grantees, for those of you who are brand new. And I'm not seeing you. So now what I can do is I can actually search by zip code. So let me take this out. So what's your zip code, Michelle?
62353.
Is that a Springfield zip code?
No, we're in Mount Sterling, Illinois.
Okay. All right, so I'm not seeing you in there. So now there are instructions that you can follow that are on the partner page on the full list of resources for you to add your agency to the service finder. So I'm going to copy that and put it in the chat. If you are a new grantee, please take a look and see if you can find yourself in the service finder. And if you do find yourself, it may be that the contact for your organization is an old contact and we've sent you refresh information emails and they haven't gone to you because the contact is out of date. Okay. Any other questions that I can answer for you?
I have one other question.
Yes, ma'am.
So you mentioned earlier when we started going over the adding customers, this was only for individuals or for fully case managed individuals. So will we be going over at a later time on one of these about entering reporting for grant money spent like in recruitment and things like that?
Is that for navigation, for navigators, or is that for like your quarterly fiscal reporting?
Yes, like for quarterly reporting.
I do not have any responsibility for that. I am not associated with that, but we can have a webinar with that information on it.
Okay,
We'll find the exact right person to do that webinar, and then we'll have that webinar.
super.
Chase, make a note.
Yeah, that was for, that was for the quarterly reporting, right?
Yes.
Okay, yep. Yeah, I think we talked about maybe doing that on the 20th.
Oh, yes, we did. I
Yeah.
already had that scheduled.
Yep.
Oh, thank you for reminding me. So we can see the event calendar coming up, and on here we have demonstration of quarterly reporting on April 20th. And that will be when we can make sure that we have that fiscal reporting person on the call. Tanya, you look confused.
I'm trying to figure out where that event calendar is.
This is on the partner page. Did I put that link in the chat?
You probably did. I've got 100 things open right now.
Let me put it in there again. There, I just popped it again. Can you show how to get to the section with the form that we need our participants to sign? Victoria, you said that. Okay. So on the customer's profile, it's going to take it a moment to so any customer, you can go do this from any customer's profile. I need to find somebody that is enrolled though. So on there, verify eligibility and enroll the customer. So intake review, verify eligibility and enroll the customer. On their view eligibility button here, you click that and it's step 3 right here. Print eligibility with signature lines.
And are we supposed to upload it into the system?
You can upload it to the customer's profile.
Okay.
You need to at minimum have a paper copy in their file.
Okay. Got it.
But if you go to the customer's profile, there is an uploads tab right here where you can upload that form. And it will it will give you the option to pick what type of document you're uploading, and it would be eligibility documents. So if you need a copy of their, I know I'm going to get this wrong, the DD 214, or you just don't want to upload anything that has not been redacted of social security number and the PPI information.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, any other questions that I can answer for you? We bounced around a little bit today, but we were answering questions. We were taking names. All right. Well, if nobody else has any questions, I'll let you get back to your day. Make it a wonderful one, and we'll talk to you next Wednesday with some answers, hopefully, for the questions that you did ask that I didn't have answers. All right.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Dee.
You're welcome.
Bye. Thank you. See everyone.
Bye, thank you.
You're welcome.